What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Watch, and today we got a PvP video for you. Not new PvP, but a PvP discussion video. So what you guys are staring at right now is old game footage that was from my previous video. So currently, at the time of this recording, I am not 5th Dan tuning, I am 8th Dan, and I have about 70 games, or 70 wins and about 15 losses. So hopefully, my word has some sort of merit to it when I speak on behalf of this game mode. But for the most part, I'm not going to be speaking on like what's good, what's bad, just more on like what I think about the game mode, what I like about it, what I dislike about it, and just things of that nature. What are my opinions on this game mode? How do I feel about it? And there are some misconceptions that I want to address as well. So starting off, my opinions on this game mode is that I think it is amazing and entertaining. It's just so much fun that I haven't, used stamina in the last 2 days. As you can see in the top, like, even though this is an old video, it's like a perfect example. I have 212 out of 212 stamina. And that was like, this video was recorded 2 days ago. I didn't use stamina until this morning. So, that's how much I was, like, drawn into this game mode. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy it a lot, and I'm just a little sad that it doesn't reward you even more outside of the entertainment and the battle points. So that's really it. When it comes to that, like, I'm like, oh shoot, it only gives you battle points. Well, I was really hoping it'd, like, increase your rank or whatever. If you used up some stamina. Well, no, if you used up stamina, it wouldn't be as fun. But I wish it just gave a little something extra, so I didn't feel as bad when I came to when I came to playing this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I played PvP for 3 hours and I still have full stamina, but I don't feel like playing anything else. So that was really it. But now, other than that, what else do I gotta have? What else do I want to say about this? Oh yes, so PvP. A lot of people have been messaging me, or you'll just see it in the comments of my other video, right? That they're like, oh, PvP is pay-to-play land, right? It's whale land. The land of the big boy spenders. Well, that's not 100% incorrect, but it's definitely not factual. So, just looking at my team right now from the screen, oh, there it goes. I have an Itachi and a Sasori that limit breaks, right? And I also have Haku, which I limit broke this morning. So that'll be 3 limit breakable units on my team. And I already swapped out the Haku for Gaara. So I have 3 limit breakable, people, and on top of that, Haku's been in this game for like literally 12 months, right? Haku's been out for a full year. And even when Haku came out, Haku was trash. Haku was like the 4th 6-star, no, the 6th 6-star to exist in this game. And it was just like hot garbage. So the fact that 12 months later, Haku is being used on like a majority of teams is nuts. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is that the reason I like this game mode so much is a couple of reasons. But one of the big things is it's competitive. And that's something that Blazing didn't have before. The only competitive aspect to it was like, oh, who's got more 150, like level 150 ultimate characters in their box, right? And you just like, like big boys comparing like, dick sizes, that's kind of what they were doing before. That's the only competitive nature there was to this game, or any mobile game for that matter. Well, there's mobile games with PvP in there, so I don't want to say that. But other than that, it's like this game mode is just fun because you get to verse someone and it's just like, oh, I beat you, I'm better than you. Well, not necessarily, because there's plenty of times where, there's like 3 Minatos on the field and they end up dodging everything, which is absolute obnoxious garbage. But other than that, it's like, for the most part, outside of the few outliers, you can kind of determine, I'm not going to say your worth, but it's just like, it makes you feel good when you're winning in PvP. Because it's like, wow, I'm better than all these people. Or it's not even better, it's just like, it makes you feel like you're better than all these people, even if in reality you might not be. But that wasn't a term that you could actually use in Naruto Blazing, like, oh, I'm better than you. Well, how do you prove that? You know, I can limit break faster than you. Well, that's not a thing. So it's like, now with this out, it's like, oh, for example, if I'm comparing someone who's Genin to someone who's Kage, Kage level, I'm going to think that the one who's in Kage, let's say they both play the same amount of games, right? Let's say they both play 200 games. And I'm just using an arbitrary number, right? It takes more than 200 games to get to Hokage or Kage in this game mode. But I'm just using that number for example. Let's say they both play 200 games. One ends up as Chunin, one ends up as Kage. Who do you think is going to be the better player? Well, the Kage, of course. So that's just the kind of the mentality where it's like, if I can get to the top, I can prove that I'm better than the rest. And that's something that I always like about games in general, whether it's mobile, any game. So like, I'll play like League of Legends, I'll get competitive in there. I'll play, Super Smash Bros, I'll get competitive in there. Those are just some examples. So I like to get competitive in these games when given the opportunity to. And PvP is a prime example of that. So, and like, you can see this, for example, if you guys know Kabuki. Kabuki is like a prime example of that too, right? This man does creative content all the time. 1 unit runs, 2 unit runs, but he's still, there's always that kind of questioning around him. You're like, okay, yeah, you can just do this stupid ass stuff that doesn't matter, but does that really mean you're good at the game? And he knows he's good at the game. Like, our group of friends know that he's good at the game, but it's kind of a way to prove to not just yourself, but to everyone else that, I know what I'm doing in this game. The man's already like halfway through Jonin on his way to Kage. He's like one of the top, if not like top 3 or 4 people that are already in PvP at the current point in time. So it's just like a way to prove that, you know what you're doing in this game. And that is something that not everyone might enjoy, but I enjoy personally. Other than that, you got, I like the team building aspect of here. Right, when this game mode first came out, when I'm talking about when it came out, I mean like in the first few hours, the teams that changed from the beginning of the day to the end of the day were so dramatic because people were running Minato, and then we're like, oh shit, we can just one-shot Minato if we run these characters. And then the people who were running Minato were like, okay, we can't run Minato, so to counter that, we're gonna run this. And then it's just a lot of back and forth with team building. And the best thing is, when this is such a new game mode that you don't know who's good. And that the reasoning being is that they literally took everyone's stats and redid them. So it's not even like based off the old stats that much. It's just like, Haku, prime example. Haku was, this shitty character outside of PvP, but in PvP we can recreate these stats to make them what we want. And now all of a sudden Haku is top tier. So, and this works with the other limit break characters as well, and this is what I wanted to talk about on the free-to-play behalf, where this game is very accessible to free-to-play characters. And when I mean free-to-play, I don't mean new players. There's a big difference, and a lot of people seem to forget how to separate those two words. Free-to-play is not new, right? So you got a lot of people like, oh, I'm free-to-play, rank 20, and I'm losing at this game. This game mode sucks. Well, no shit. Don't expect to do good. This game mode's not meant for new players. That's it in its basic right. If you're new, there's plenty of other stuff that you can get through before you enter PvP. So outside of that, this game mode is really rewarding to veterans, and that's shown through the limit breaking. Prior to today, I didn't have Haku limit broken, and I would have never had Haku limit broken until like Haku, I limit broke everyone else essentially. So that's where I kind of wanted to point out that this game mode rewards those who play this game more than it does to those who spend their money on this game. Because you gotta remember, if you're a free-to-play doesn't mean you don't spend pearls. Free-to-play means you just spend the pearls that are available to you within the game. And there's like, we're almost close to 2,000 pearls that are available in this game. So if you're saying that like, oh, you're not allowed to use, like if you use a Blazing Fest character in your team, you're no longer free to play. I've seen some pretty stupid ass comments. So that's the one thing I wanted to address. If you're free to play, it just means that you don't spend money on this game. It doesn't mean that you can't have. There's people. I have a free to play person in my Discord who has like a 40 or 50 luck Madara. Doesn't mean he spends money, it just means that he got lucky. And Blazing Fest units are really easy to come by. You know, prior to this Hashirama one, you could just, you know, pull on Blazing Fest, spend all your pearls there, and you got like half the cast that was top tier. So that's kind of what I wanted to say, is that this game mode, yes, if you put money in this game, you probably have a better chance, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be better in the end. Because, like I said, this game mode favors limit breaking, so therefore it favors those who actually play the game. Now, that point aside, the other thing I wanted to address is the glitches and like the disconnects. You know, I have 15 losses or 16 losses, and about 6 or 7 of those are just from disconnects, or these people that figure out this glitch on how to wait you out, and where it's like, it says another player is in control because it's their turn, but the time doesn't go down. And it's just a matter of, it's like a game of chicken. Whoever leaves first loses. So that's the one thing that, and if you don't know what the glitch is, you might just exit out of the game because you're like, oh, maybe my game's broken, and there you go, defeat right there. So, and then there's other times where I'll just load into the game and it's just like, boom, defeat. Just like, I haven't even made my first move and it's like defeat. So I've had some pretty dumb moments in here, and I hope that that is fixed. But aside from that, I think this game mode is amazing. And my favorite thing, no. I'd say my favorite thing is the fact that all these units that have no business being top tier outside of this game mode, Haku, you know, you got your like your OG limit breaks, are all amazing in this game mode. Which is something that I like, is that Bandai can literally just readjust stats to their pleasure in this game mode because it doesn't affect the other side, right? It doesn't affect the non-PvP side. And then the other thing I wanted to mention that I do like about it is that, you know, you get to create these teams, and like, okay, the team that I'm currently using is one of the teams that you tend to see a lot. And, you know, just look at the opponent, right? He has, well, no, this guy specifically doesn't have, you know, my team that I'm running. But it's that I personally figured this team out within the first few hours of PvP, and I stuck with it. And then slowly on, you know, I live stream with it, and then it slowly started catching on. I'm not saying I created this team. I'm just saying that, you know, I didn't see this team around when I made it. I made this team on my own, and that's, you know, this is the team I've been using. Whether or not people copy, whether or not people figured it out on their own is something else. It's just that the one thing that is cool to see, but it's also somewhat infuriating, is that Kabuki pointed this out to me as well, is that, you know, Kabuki made his team, and I bet you that like Kabuki was the first one to make his specific orientation of his team that he's running, and now all of a sudden he does a few videos and a live stream, and you got people that literally copy his exact team, and on top of that copy his exact placement. There's an extent to which you know that, like, okay, this guy's just copying. But there's nothing wrong with that. You know, people that are not as, I guess, don't have that much time into this game might not know what is good and what is not. So they can look up to other people and be like, you know, okay, this guy's winning a lot with this team. He says this team is good. I'm going to copy that. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually kind of nice that people look up to us, or just a group of people that look up to others and kind of use them as inspiration for their own stuff is nice. But it does get annoying to an extent when it's like you see your exact team being mirrored, and it's like, come on, man, can't you like figure something out on your own? So there's like two sides to the same coin, right? You know, it's nice that other people like look up to us to copy teams, but it also sucks that, you know, you want to be the owner of that team in a sense. It's like, this is my team, you know, this is my identity. Like, you won't see this team outside of me, and I can make it work. That's the only thing that I have, like, that's my only gripe, really, outside of the disconnects. But other than that, you know, I think I went over everything that I needed to go over with this game mode. I hope that it's a lot easier to get rewards. That Kakashi looks kind of hard to get, but I think that's only because, you know, we haven't gotten... It's not the ranked season yet. And during the ranked season, this is just a preview, so I don't think we're meant to like really get a lot of points right now. I think when the ranked season comes out, we'll be getting a lot more points, and it'll be a lot easier to get that Kakashi, or just whatever the unit is in general. So that's just my opinion on it. But I think I covered everything I needed to cover. So hope you guys enjoy. Anything like that you agree or disagree, leave it down below. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.